Imagine doubling your investment in just 1 year. Sounds impossible. Think again. The stock market in 2025 is about to shift in ways that could make or break your portfolio. Ready for the secret predictions no one is talking about? Let's dive in. 2025, the year of massive gains or total chaos. Hey there, I'm Forhad, and I've been tracking stock market trends for over 5 years. Over the years, I've seen it all: the highs, the crashes, and the hidden opportunities that others miss. But 2025, it's shaping up to be a game changer, and I'm here to break down what you need to know to stay ahead of the curve. In today's video, we're diving deep into the future of the stock market, what's coming in 2025, which trends will dominate, and the stocks you absolutely need to keep on your radar. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. 2023 and 2024 have been anything but predictable. If you've been watching the markets, you know that the volatility has been real. Between the economic recovery post-pandemic, rising inflation, and unexpected market shifts, investors have had a wild ride. In 2023, we saw inflation hit its highest in decades, which led to major moves from central banks, raising interest rates to tame the economy. While some sectors struggled, others thrived. Tech, energy, and healthcare saw impressive gains, despite the broader market struggles. 2024, however, was a year of recovery. Inflation showed signs of slowing down, but global supply chain disruptions and geopolitical tensions caused huge market fluctuations. These ups and downs left investors scrambling for stability. But here's the good news: all of this turbulence sets the stage for some incredible opportunities in 2025. With inflation cooling and economic recovery gaining momentum, we're about to enter a whole new phase for investing. So, with all that in mind, what does 2025 have in store for us? Let's talk about where we're headed and what trends you can't afford to ignore. Alright, now let's dive deep into the trends that will shape the stock market in 2025. If you're serious about making informed decisions, these are the key factors you need to be aware of. First up, interest rates. In 2025, we're likely to see interest rates remain relatively high as central banks continue their fight against inflation. According to top economists, this could create challenges for borrowing and lending. But it also means we'll see some serious shifts in how investors approach risk. Next, inflation is expected to stay in check, but not at the historic lows we saw before the pandemic. We'll probably see inflation hovering around 2 to 3%, which means prices won't skyrocket, but won't come down drastically either. So what does this mean for you as an investor? It means the sectors most sensitive to interest rates like real estate and consumer spending could face some headwinds, while inflation-resistant sectors like tech and green energy may shine brighter than ever before. Speaking of tech, this is where things get really exciting. The future of artificial intelligence, 5G technology, and quantum computing will absolutely explode in 2025, and the companies leading the charge could see their stocks soar. In fact, many analysts are predicting that AI stocks alone could see growth upwards of 20 to 30% over the next few years. And let's not forget about the shift in consumer behavior. The pandemic accelerated the move towards digital everything: e-commerce, remote work, and online services, and that trend is only going to continue in 2025. Expect big gains in companies adapting to these shifts. E-commerce giants, cloud computing, and even virtual reality are primed for massive growth. Now, geopolitical events like trade policies, global tensions, and environmental changes are wild cards. No one can predict exactly what's coming. But with ongoing global disruptions, we'll likely see industries like energy, defense, and supply chain management continue to perform well. Finally, green energy will remain a massive opportunity. With climate policies tightening and governments pushing for a cleaner future, stocks in solar, wind, and electric vehicle sectors are set to boom. Bottom line, 2025 will be a year where technology and sustainability collide, and the companies leading those fields will see the highest returns. So, if you want to know exactly where to put your money, stay tuned. If you want to make smart investments in 2025, these 5 sectors are going to be your golden ticket to massive returns. Get ready to mark your calendar, because these industries are set to skyrocket, and I'm about to show you which stocks could lead the charge. Let's start with the number 1 sector: technology. I'm talking about everything from artificial intelligence to 5G and cloud computing. The digital revolution isn't slowing down anytime soon. In fact, experts are predicting that AI alone will fuel a $15 trillion industry by 2030. So, if you want to capitalize on this wave, NVIDIA and Alphabet are two top companies that are leading the charge in AI and 5G infrastructure. Their stock prices are expected to keep climbing as these technologies take over industries across the globe. Next up, we've got the number 2 sector, green energy. With governments pushing harder for carbon neutrality, this sector is absolutely set to explode. We're talking solar, wind, and electric vehicles. Tesla, NextEra Energy, and Plug Power are companies that are perfectly positioned to lead the charge here. As more countries commit to green energy goals, these stocks are going to see massive growth, especially as electric vehicles and sustainable energy solutions become mainstream. Coming in at number 3 is the healthcare sector. We've all seen how critical healthcare is, especially post-pandemic. But in 2025, we're going to see major breakthroughs in biotech, telemedicine, and aging solutions. Companies like Moderna, Teladoc, and Intuitive Surgical are set to thrive as they expand into new innovations and tap into the aging population's needs. With demand for healthcare services soaring, these stocks could see big returns. Number 4 on the list is fintech, the future of digital banking, cryptocurrency, and blockchain technology. With a growing interest in decentralized finance, fintech companies are attracting major investor attention. Square, now known as Block, PayPal, and Coinbase are companies to watch here. As cryptocurrencies and digital transactions continue to integrate into our daily lives, their stock potential is off the charts. And last but certainly not least, number 5 is the cybersecurity sector. With more companies and consumers moving online, the demand for online security has never been higher. CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks, and Fortinet are the leaders here, and as cyber threats grow, their stocks are poised to rise. With cybercrime projected to cost businesses trillions in the next few years, investing in cybersecurity is a no-brainer for 2025. So there you have it, 5 sectors that are going to make waves in 2025. If you want to make smart moves in the market this year, these industries are where you need to focus your attention. Alright, risk takers, this one's for you. If you're looking for stocks that could deliver massive returns but with a little more volatility, then buckle up. These high-risk, high-reward stocks could change the game in 2025, and you don't want to miss out. First up, Palantir Technologies. This company has been a roller coaster since its IPO, but with its big data and government contracts, Palantir is poised for major growth as it expands into commercial markets. Why is it risky? Because their growth is tied to government contracts, and there's always a risk of those contracts drying up. But if Palantir can break into the private sector more successfully, we could be looking at a massive upside. Analysts say it could easily double its value in 2025. Next, let's talk about Beyond Meat. This plant-based food company has had its fair share of setbacks, but with the global push towards sustainable eating, they're still in a prime position to take off. Is it risky? Absolutely. There's a lot of competition in the plant-based food space, and consumer trends are unpredictable. But if they can secure more partnerships with fast food giants and grocery chains, Beyond Meat could see explosive growth in 2025. Some experts are calling it a 10x opportunity if they pull it off. Now, if you're feeling real adventurous, let's talk about Rivian Automotive. This electric vehicle startup has faced massive setbacks with production delays. But here is the thing. They've got the potential to disrupt the entire automotive industry. Why is it risky? Rivian's still in the early stages, and competition from Tesla and other EV giants is fierce. But if Rivian can ramp up production and capture market share from the likes of Ford and GM, their stock could surge 100% or more in 2025. That's why some investors are calling this a massive high-risk opportunity. Moving on, let's talk about NIO. This Chinese electric vehicle company is often called the Tesla of China, but it's not without its risks. With China's EV market booming, NIO has massive growth potential, but it's also vulnerable to regulatory changes and economic slowdowns. Is NIO a risky bet? You bet, but if China continues to lead the way in EV adoption, NIO could see massive returns in 2025. Some analysts are predicting 300% gains if they can maintain their lead in the Chinese market. Finally, let's take a look at CRISPR Therapeutics. This gene editing biotech company is working on revolutionary treatments for genetic diseases. And while the science is groundbreaking, it's still very much in the experimental stage. Why is it risky? The biotech space is notorious for failed trials and unpredictable outcomes. But if CRISPR can prove their treatments work, they could completely transform the healthcare landscape. We're talking about the potential for insane returns in 2025, with some experts saying the stock could 10x or more. So, if you've got the guts to take on some risk for a potentially massive payoff, these stocks should be at the top of your radar in 2025. Quick recap of all the high-risk stocks: Palantir, Beyond Meat, Rivian, and CRISPR Therapeutics. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the next big market crash. It's a tough topic, but if you want to be an intelligent investor in 2025, you have to prepare for a potential downturn. The question isn't if, it's when. So, what could cause a market correction or even a full-blown crash in 2025? Here are the key scenarios that you need to be aware of. Scenario number 1. The Fed's interest rate hike backlash. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to combat inflation. The scenario number 2. Geopolitical tensions and global instability. From trade wars to geopolitical conflicts, there are plenty of factors that could lead to a global recession. A major crisis, whether it's in the Middle East, Asia, or Europe, could trigger widespread panic, driving stock markets into a nosedive. Scenario number 3. Corporate earnings falling short. Even though the economy might seem strong, companies are still vulnerable to inflation, labor shortages, and supply chain issues. If corporate earnings miss expectations, we could see an earnings recession that causes massive sell-offs across major indices like the S&P 500. Now, let's talk about the worst-case scenario: a full-on financial crisis caused by the collapse of a major bank or a liquidity crisis in the global financial system. In 2008, we saw how quickly things can spiral out of control and the banking system falters. While it's not likely in 2025, the chance of systemic risk still exists. A crisis of confidence could trigger a massive sell-off and market crash. So, what should you do to prepare for a downturn? How do you protect your portfolio when the storm hits? Here are 3 strategies that could help you minimize risk and protect your portfolio in 2025. Strategy number 1. Diversify like a pro. The key to surviving any market crash is diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different sectors, asset classes, and geographic regions. This way, when one market takes a hit, your entire portfolio doesn't go down with it. Strategy number 2. Build up your cash reserves. In times of uncertainty, cash is king. Having cash on hand allows you to buy the dip when others are panicking. So, consider keeping a portion of your portfolio in liquid assets that can be used to take advantage of opportunities during a market correction. Strategy number 3. Focus on long-term investments. If you're in this for the long haul, a market crash shouldn't shake you. History has shown us that markets tend to recover often stronger than before. So, make sure you're invested in quality companies and don't sell off in a panic when the market drops. Stick to your strategy and think long-term. And here's the most important point: don't panic. The key to surviving a market crash is staying calm and sticking to your plan. Every crash is followed by a recovery, and the best investors know when to weather the storm and when to strike. Now, if you're feeling a little nervous, don't worry. Remember, the key is preparation, so stay diversified, keep cash on hand, and focus on long-term growth. Alright, let's take a deep breath and get to the fun part: preparing your portfolio for 2025. You want to make sure you're not only surviving the market's ups and downs, but thriving during them. And it all comes down to smart, strategic diversification. So how do you do that? So, what are you waiting for? Start setting your strategy today and get ready for 2025 to be your most successful year yet. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know who wants to take their investing to the next level. Thanks for watching, and here's to making 2025 your best investment year ever.